What's our sales potential? We're all selling a product, service, or idea to someone. How would we see our life when we maximize our performance and profit? When we connect with our potential that we were designed into us? It allows us to experience not only our work, but also our relationships at an enjoyable level. The workshop and assessment give us a chance to get reacquainted with who we were designed to be by the universe or God or whatever our belief system. The 3-hour workshop is separated into 3 days so our brain can absorb the new motivation and behavior change. J.W. Wilson, my mentor and author of Cracking the Learning Code, was not only known as a world leader in this science, he built $21 million businesses and taught Mayo Clinic's doctors to connect with their patients, among many other things. This is Les Simpson of Enhanced Team Performance. Below in the details is a flyer of the workshop, also with white paper and testimonial of the assessment. Included is a video link to my assessment. It shows who we are in all 6 areas of our life and was created in the 80s and was proprietary to the Fortune 500 for 30 years. Now I'm bringing it to companies and individuals that want to maximize their work and relationships. Get back with my team leader that sent you this video to join their workshop.
Hello world, my name is Z, or you can call me Mr. Z. I am a web developer and I am also a consultant at Z World Webs. My one goal is to develop custom websites that are specifically catered to your organization's needs. I completely understand that building a website is an exhilarating, exciting, and significant step in connecting with your audience. Your organization has Z potential to make a meaningful impact, whether it's supporting animal rights, advocating for equality, combating human trafficking, or honoring the brave individuals who have served our country. Your mission is too important to be held back by the challenges a website can present. And I am here to ensure that your website works for you, not against you. Whether it's maintaining, developing, or redeveloping a custom website that is specifically catered to your needs. And with that being said, I would be more than delighted to learn more about your organization and, of course, develop a website Z World is waiting for.
When you join the Community Pay It Forward family, your business can be seen because people know your business will offer hope to organizations like Todd Lingle of CARES Foundation. CARES Foundation is a proud mission partner of Community Pay It Forward. CARES Foundation is dedicated to educating young drivers of the dangers of impaired and distracted driving. Every sale through Community Pay It Forward helps support incredible organizations like the CARES Foundation.
Hey friends, I've been thinking, we all have our strengths, right? There are things I'm great at and things I'm definitely not great at. I can talk to anyone, anywhere, but ask me to add something to a website or an app. Yeah, that's where things get a little messy. Oops, I love speaking, I love sharing stories, but social media, all those hashtags, algorithms, trends, that's a jungle I still haven't mapped out. Now, coming up with ideas that bring people together, that's my sweet spot. But bookkeeping, let's just say numbers, and I have agreed to stay in separate corners. And you know what? That's okay, because someone out there is good at those things. And when we work together, that's when the magic happens. Community Pay It Forward has never been about one person. It's a program built by many to support even more. Every single one of us brings something special to the table. We all have talents that make us strong on our own. But imagine how powerful we become when we combine them. That's the heart of Community Pay It Forward. Your skills, my skills, our hearts, working side by side to make a real difference. So tell me, what are you good at? Let's discover it together. Visit communitypayitforward.us and join the movement.
Born into a real fight wasn't right. Where can she dream here? Took a hold of her life, left at night, stepping out of her fear. Bring me home, out alone.
And when Theron hits, the fun begins. Welcome, everybody, to Community Impact on the Pact Podcasting Networks. My name is Zach Clayton, founder, president, that one guy who started Community Pay It Forward, the Come Together Compass, and the Pact Podcasting Networks. Hey, we have a timely show for some of us, and we have something that we really need to focus on coming up in the next month. We are going to... I haven't decided exactly how we're going to do it, but I think that we're going to focus our what you gots on different ideas on how to support people during mental health awareness month, which is May. Okay. In my family dynamic right now, this month has taken on a new importance. And so what we really want to do is we really want to take and we want to make sure that everybody understands that there are things that we can do, because we have to be there for the ones who are struggling. We have to figure out what we need to do. Too many people are feeling left out. Too many people are feeling alone. And I'm pretty sure that you are like we are in our family. I'm pretty sure that you don't want people to feel like that. And we want to make sure that they understand that there is somebody here for them. So there is an importance on what's going on. I've got a squeaker here. So come on. I've got Anubis, the Anubis rabbit, Mr. Max, joining us. So yeah, coming up in May, Mental Health Awareness Month. So we are going to be doing something special to really attempt to make sure that people understand what we can do to support people in our circle, people in our family, people who we love. Because as our motto goes, nobody needs to go it alone, and we need to make sure that people don't feel like they're alone. Max, you look like a giant. Your tiny head looks huge right now. So, like it wasn't bad enough when I had the one dog just stood on my shoulder. Joining us today, we are proud to welcome back Joel White from ReWired for Men. We took a little bit longer to record this. He went on a trip, and then he had a couple other things going on. But what we're going to do is I'm going to play our disclaimer And I think that I definitely ask that people read our disclaimer, because there are a lot of things that we discuss in this disclaimer, and we need you to understand once, I'm going to say it right now, we are not professionals. We are not telling you to do anything. We are not educated enough to do this. We are only talking about experiences we have had. So please do not take any of this as a recommendation or direction, because that is not what we're trying to do. So I'm going to play the disclaimer, going to play one more spot, and then we're going to welcome back dear friend, wonderful partner, Mr. Joel Smith.
Ho, ho, Santa Papa John coming at you with some exciting news. I've got something special to tell you. Story time by Santa. You know my stories. They're now being featured on Brother Zach's website, Community Pay It Forward. This is so exciting, and I couldn't be more proud. Why? Because this is what it's all about, folks. Paying it forward, sharing kindness, and creating moments that make people smile. And these stories, well, they're not just about the North Pole and Santa. Oh no, you need to check them out. They're happy, uplifting stories filled with positive messages and meaningful life lessons. Stories that bring people together and remind us what really matters. A big thank you going out to Brother Zach for helping spread joy and bring these stories to even more hearts. So, head over to Community Pay It Forward website, check out these stories, enjoy the stories, and don't forget, share them with someone who could really use a smile today. Ho, 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 because joy has no season, and together we can keep paying it forward.
Hey everybody, it's time to have a little bit of fun. It's time to get rewired. We are here with my great friend, wonderful partner, and just all over good guy. And, you know, a guy who visited, as we talked about last time, went to go and visit Egypt, which is my favorite place in the world that I would want to go and visit. You know, bucket list there, Joel. But the one thing I'm waiting for him to do is come here to the States. You know, you got a place to stay, man.
Mate, what can I say to an introduction like that? Yeah, why not, mate? I'm up for that.
Brother, man, I'll take you to the mountains. I'll take you. I'll take you skiing. I'll leave you there because I ain't getting on no damn sticks. So, you know, I can't walk right now. I'm not gonna tie sticks to my feet, but. Hey everybody, Joel White from ReWired for Men this is his show. We bring him on once a month. Look, Joel and I are also trying to put together a men's group, and we'd love for you to join us, guys. This is going to be very, very simple. It's not Joel, it's not me, it's us. We just want to get together and we want to talk. I'm going to man talk. We want to talk shit out, okay? There's a lot of confusing bullshit going on right now. Joel's in England, and he can give that, he can tell what's going on here, but he can only tell what he hears. He would like to hear from us and how it's affecting us, okay? Look, ReWired for Men is perfect if you want to figure your stuff out with Joel alone, but we're trying to put something together to where we as men can get together and talk to each other again. None of the piss and vinegar that other conversations have, but we can really talk things out. One of the things that we're going to be able to do is, Joel and I are putting this on, okay? We're the leaders of this show. But you know what? Todd, you come in, you want to talk, and all of a sudden Sam says something that is interesting and sounds like it's going to work for you. You go, hey, Zach, hey, Joel, can you put us in a breakout room so I can talk to, Sam a little bit and find out a little bit more about what he's talking about? We'll put you guys in a breakout room. That way you can have your own conversation, your own ability to be open, to be honest, and talk there. This is something that we're going to do once a month right now. We're just trying to get we'd like to get at least 5 people to join us. So reach out to me, reach out to Joel, and let us know, hey, we're in. The first month that we do this, hopefully in May, but the first month we're going to do it for free. But then after that, it's $25 a month, okay? So come on in. Let's do this. Let's have fun. But let's get serious about talking to each other and figuring it out for us, for each other, all right? Making sure that we're all here to help everyone. So, Joel, that was a little bit of a long intro to keep you sitting there. I always yell at other podcasters when they do that, and I'm like going, shut up, man, you got a guest. But how you doing, brother?
I'm all right, mate. You crack on it. Don't worry about it. Absolutely vital all the stuff you said. It's really important, getting that men's group out there. We both talk about it a lot. There's a lot of men out there who are lost, confused, don't really know what they're doing. Most of them in the US at this moment in time. So, watch this space with social media. There'll be stuff coming out in the next few weeks. I don't know if it is in the US, but in the UK they call May Mental Health Month or whatever it is, what they come out with. So it seems an ideal time to be getting the men's group out there, getting something up and running. Even 25 bucks, it's not a lot based on what you will get out of it from that perspective. We don't want massive numbers, but we want a decent enough number so we can generate conversation, share knowledge and wisdom, support each other and go on from there. Like I said, it'll be a lot clearer about the format as we go forward, whether it's weekly, monthly. We'll still make certain decisions around that. But that's where we need your input, guys. We need your input about what you want it to look like, how you want it to run, how you want it to function. We've got ideas between us, but it's important to involve you. Because at the end of the day, me and Zach can sit in a room by ourselves, but it ain't much fun. So we need more guys involved, coming along, getting stuck in. I'll obviously the important thing is it's not just for men in the US, it's the UK, it's around the world. I think it's got a lot of traction. It's much needed.
Hey, you know what? Canada, Africa, it doesn't matter where you're at.
No.
This is something that we can get together and look. I mean, we're not doing this so we can rag on anything. This is seriously about trying to accept everyone. That's one of the things about this is that, look, I don't give a damn, and this is a big trigger topic right now in the US. I don't give a damn who you voted for. Okay?
Yeah.
I don't give a damn who you support right now. It might be different than me. Okay? But that doesn't matter. We voted for different idiots. That's it. The truth is, we're all going through stuff together. If the other idiot would have won, we'd still be going through stuff, right, Joel? I mean, It's not like, look, there is no such thing as a perfect leader. There's just not.
Yeah. Yeah. We've got fun coming up. Our elections, local election things kick off in May. And believe me, it's just as much a mess over here as it is over there. So,
well, I don't know if it's as much of a mess.
Well, it could be. You know, there's a party called Reform UK, and you know, I'm talking my personal opinion here, so lots of people can't come in and complain. This is my personal opinion. Reform UK are very much what I feel and believe are very much your far right scenario politics and this that and the other. And it's just not. It's just not great. It's not great for future. It's not great for policy. But unfortunately, when you've got the current party Labour, and this is my opinion again, not doing a particularly good job, unfortunately, people get disheartened, disillusioned, so they go and vote for somebody else. And unfortunately, somebody else looks like this group called Reform UK. So it's quite interesting and scary times, really. And again, I don't know how it works in the US with elections, but in the UK, every year you see less and less people vote, and that's quite worrying. It really is worrying from that perspective. So who knows? You know, watch this space, see what happens. Really,
I think the one thing here in the U.S., and I'm pretty sure that you're not going to find a single American voter who is going to stand up and really defend the Electoral College, okay? Because that, as far as I'm concerned, that takes my vote and it basically crumbles it up and throws it into a pile, okay?
Right.
And whichever pile ends up more, that's the winner, you know?
Yeah.
Well, what happens if I tighten my ballot a little bit tighter than the other ones, okay? It's going to get missed in there. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
there's just, you know, the one thing that bugs me about elections, and it's bugged me about every election since I've been 18 and old enough to vote. You turn on elections at 5 o'clock here in Colorado, okay? Because that's when the states out east start to close down, and I mean the news people will sit there and they go, okay, the voting is done in Florida, and we can now call Florida for ... How in the hell can you do that?
I get you.
You know, you shouldn't be able to tell me who won an election for a week.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, the electoral college, I think, you know what, we need somebody with balls and a brain to come in here and say, you know what, that thing's done. And guess what? This year, this last election, we would still have the same president. We would still have the same president because he took the majority of the proper vote. Okay? He did. He wouldn't have been elected the first time, but he would have won this time.
Yeah.
So, you know, yeah, it is kind of funny. And like I said, you know what? I think that the biggest thing, Joel, and you tell me if you're wrong, or you tell me if I'm wrong, sorry. But I think that if we can get it to where you and I and everyone else can sit there and figure out how we can do things on our own, we lessen the effect of the government. We don't have to depend on them as much. Okay, fuel, that's always going to be something that's going to be a problem. Government's going to run it. But you know what? If we can sit there and we can say, you know what, brother, I've got 100 gallons over here at the house if you need to fill up. And then once this calms down, you can pay me back, you know, whatever it is. Let's work on that together. You know, I mean, these are things that we can do together, you know. There's going to be problems that the governments are going to cause and fight through and win. But if we work together, we can lessen the effect that governments have on us.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I completely agree. You know, it's what you're talking about there isn't necessarily a new principle. That's how things used to be like. You know, if you go back in time, and again, you know, this has come from mine and your personal opinion. For those people out there who may scream, that's okay. Come on the show. We want to hear from you.
Yeah.
But putting that aside, you know, that's how I perceive civilizations were in the past. You know, very, very much in the UK, it was a bit like that. I'll give you 2 chickens and you give me this and blah blah blah, and it worked. It worked well. Do you know what I mean? It still potentially does work. That sort of stuff went on during COVID. Do you know what I mean? Where people were isolated and needed a bit of support, and it was a case, I'll swap you this for that. It has a lot of momentum. It has a lot of potential. There's no reason why we can't go back to that way of operating. But obviously, without going too far into this, there are certain individuals who don't want that to happen because you can't make money. You can't really make money from that model. Not particularly. So, yeah.
Yeah, I just, people just need to kind of, they really need to check themselves a lot of times, because I think that we make things so much worse on ourselves when we really start forgetting that there are other people out there, I remember one of the funniest things that I ever saw during COVID was, there was the whole toilet paper craze. And I saw this thing with the gang from Scooby-Doo pulling the mask off the criminal like they always used to, and it was the Charmin bear, Charmin toilet paper. And that was one of the things that, that made me laugh my ass off, because, we know who created COVID, and it had the Charmin bear in there looking all guilty. So that was so hilarious. Matter of fact, I think I've got that somewhere in my office. I can't remember where, but I think I printed that off. It was so damn funny. So
yeah, you're right. There seems to be no logical reason why everybody went out and bought tons of toilet paper. I don't know. It was just loot and bread. Toilet paper and bread. There was just no logic. There's no logic to why all the shelves were empty. I didn't get it. I just didn't.
Yeah, and then we had some nozzle here in Colorado that he, after the toilet paper company started being able to manufacture and keep up with the demand, this guy had and I'm not talking like a little shed, this guy had a shed that was full of it. And he was trying to sell toilet paper. And he was trying to sell it at over market value. And it's like going, yeah, no, it doesn't work that way. And then he ended up getting in trouble because he wasn't paying tax on it. So that was even funnier. So, hey, Joel, I talked to you about this because I kind of wanted to get your opinion on this. I am going through a very, very difficult time physically right now with my neck. And I just got some really disappointing news the other day. And it was something that I wanted to talk about so we could kind of make mention on stuff that we're going to try to, discuss with each other on this group. Everybody knows that 12 years ago I was in a motorcycle accident and, did quite a bit of damage to myself. And 9 years ago, I had a fusion in my neck. And unfortunately, they fused 3 sections of my neck. 2 of those sections failed. And it's caused massive, massive issues with things that I love to do. I love to go play Frisbee golf with my cousin and my wife. Adrian loves to go with us now, but I can't do that because it's just excruciating. Doing household chores is, I'll do it because, damn it, you're not going to tell me I can't do something.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to pay for it. And quite honestly, Joel, it's they told me 2 weeks ago that I was going to have a surgery, which was going to potentially help with the headaches and the pain and do all this other stuff. There was going to be more limitations on my neck. And then last week, they told me, no, we're not. we're going to do the same thing that we've been doing for the last 9 years and hope that it'll take this time. Joel, that's defeating in so many ways. That is so hard to understand as a person. And it's really hard to take, and it's hard to deal with. It's something that I am working different angles to try to do things. But, the good thing is I'm kind of used to this disappointment. I've had doctors miss so many different things that I've had to deal with this for the last 12 years like this. So, so I'm kind of used to this. But I mean, if I always imagine, what if this is someone else's first time going through what I'm going through? And that's one of the things that I really want to talk about today, Joel. I want to talk to that person who's maybe experiencing this for the first time. What are some of the things that a person can do to maintain their sanity? Okay, because you cannot, and I'm telling you right now, you cannot go into a doctor's office full of, just bum rush a doctor. That's not going to change their mind. As a matter of fact, it's going to make your health care even worse. So that is the worst thing you can do. So what I want to do, Joel, is I want to talk to you a little bit and help people understand this is, and you said it right the first time, so why don't you go on ahead and tell them exactly what it is?
I can't remember what I said.
They can't make money.
No, yeah. And again, this is personal opinion as well. Generally, from my opinion, when you look at a lot of healthcare systems, it's in their interest to keep you on medication than it is to heal and solve the problem. Unfortunately, that's how a lot of things work. They would rather keep you ill to some degree than actually solve it completely. And also, as well, I don't know what it's like in the US, but in the UK, medical negligence is probably the third or fourth greatest cause of death in the UK, which is basically people screwing stuff up. And the part of the issue is that they are so risk averse, they actually create more errors and more problems from that degree. Because when you put so much paperwork in place, no one wants to take accountability and responsibility for stuff. So how do you learn from your poor choices? We talked about this before. There's no such thing as mistakes, as poor choices, and you don't. Unfortunately, it gets worse and it continues to get worse. And what was interesting, one of the lines you said off air, that they've decided one of the reasons they decided not to do it at this moment in time is because they don't want to hurt you. And it's like, well, whose decision is that? Is that your decision or is that my decision? So in a way, it makes it worse in the fact that they're taking away your choice, because at the end of the day, the best person who knows you is you. And they're almost removing that away from you, saying, well, actually, you don't know what's best for you. We do. And it's that classic one, when you go to a counselling session and the counsellor goes, oh, I understand what you're going through. No, you don't. You don't understand at all. You don't understand at all what I'm going through. You never have and you never will. And even if you've got two people who have been sectioned, they don't understand each other because they're completely different people and situations. It's really condescending when somebody says to you, oh, I understand what you've been through. It's like, no, you don't. And this is very similar. But they're kind of saying, oh, we don't want to hurt you. God, you won't pay. It's like, what? Where's the evidence? Where's the research to say that is a valid reason for not doing it?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Them telling me that, well, we don't want to, we don't want you to go through the rest of your life in that kind of pain. How in the hell do you know what kind of pain I'm going through right now, other than I walk into the doctor's office and I've walked into the doctor's office and I've told them flat out, I don't care what you do. If you have to cut the damn head off to make the neck stop hurting so bad, do it. I can understand them telling me, well, we can't do that. Because guess what? They can't do that. I understand that. But for them just to completely ignore and forego my wishes on this, it's hard because we've tried all these other things and it just hasn't worked.
Yeah.
So, and it's, the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again and expecting something different.
And it doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And right here, I've explained many, many times, I have a chemical dependence on painkillers right now because this is their solution.
Yeah.
This is their solution. And I'm sorry to say this. No, I'm not. It's just honesty. I can't get through my day without them because I am in intense pain. And if I just sit here and try to deal with it, I'm going to just break down and cry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll up into a little ball on my couch and not be able to do anything.
Yeah. No, absolutely. This is reflection. I don't know what level your pain you're going through. I never will. But what I do know is a place where I used to work quite a few years ago. There was a guy who was a doctor for the NHS, and he was quite high up actually, working with long-term health conditions. And he got sick and tired of them just medicating people with long-term health conditions and not really helping them, because unfortunately what happens as well, your body becomes tolerant of whatever it is. So you just increase it and increase it, and it just doesn't work. And some of the medication what some were on, one of them was I think it's Tramadol. Tramadol's quite old school, but it's massively dependent. Causing massive issues with dependency. Is that what that is?
Tramadol.
Yeah, massive issues of dependency. Major problems of it, which is why they started to cut down it over here, because of it's just ridiculous the impact it has on individuals. And this guy got sick and tired that he actually then went private, left the NHS. But the route, what he got interested in was this whole idea of pain. And what he started to look into, and again, it's funnily enough, I think it came out of America actually, or Canada, that the idea of pain, there's physical pain in regards to, if you physical break an arm or whatever, there's physical pain. But there's also a lot of pain, what people have is perceived pain, it's perceptual pain. And what he was interested in is, what the route he went down was working with small samples of individuals, teaching them basically breathing exercises, teaching them mindfulness exercises. And what he was clear from the beginning is, he hasn't got a magic wand. They can't make it all go away and everyone's bliss. That he wasn't coming in with that attitude, because it's not going to work. These people had long-term health conditions. It was always going to be there. They weren't going to go away. But what he realised in his samples, and when he taught people breathing exercise and mindfulness and this, that, and the other, that their levels of pain decreased. And he could evidence that based on questionnaires, but also what he could evidence on it is when they went back for their medical reviews, that they had to alter the medication that they were on by decreasing it. So it clearly did show from where he was coming from that it worked better going down that angle than it did just constantly whacking them with painkillers. Granted, they were still on painkillers, but dosages were a lot less. They were able to manage their perception of pain in regards to the actual pain that they were experiencing. And I don't know if I don't know where he got up to with that. I left the place of employment where this guy was doing it. But again, it's stuff that works. But a lot of the time, again, it's personal opinion, certain medical organisations don't want to go down that route. They don't want to try that route because you can't make lots of dollar from it. Do you know what I mean? It's not possible to do it. And I think it's the unfortunate world that we live in at this moment in time. And again, personal opinion, what's starting to happen is people going back to now trying alternative therapies, holistic therapies. And again, people would say it's all the crap, this, that, and the other. I'm just putting it out there as a reflection. because in the past, that's what a lot of it used to be in the West, were homeopathic, holistic, alternative, and they worked really well. Unfortunately, until Big Pharma came along and decided, well, we can't really make money off doing alternative stuff, but what we can make money of is introducing painkillers or drugs, what people don't really need. Well, that's what we're going to do. So a lot of the stuff that did work, obviously, alternative therapies are some which are absolute nonsense and don't work. A lot of it is garbage. But the ones which were deemed to work that had the evidence behind them were belittled and destroying all the rest of it, which is a real shame. But I think what we're seeing now is this surge is coming back, where people are now more educated. The social media is more available from that degree. So not all of it's garbage on social media. You know, there are some good stuff on that. I think that's why we're seeing a bit more of a resurgence towards this alternative way of managing things. And I think that's important as well. I don't think the magic pill has answered and never will answer the scenario. I really don't. I'm not saying chuck all medicines in the bin. Please don't hear that way. I think medication. No, and
make sure you talk to a doctor before.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't, there could be terrible things. Never get off of a medication without talking to your doctor. One of the other pills that they were pushing on me for over 6 years that is now in the news quite a bit is gabapentin. So I was on gabapentin and tramadol for the first 6 years after my accident. Yeah, and when you say that the addictiveness of tramadol is bad, I am telling you right now, Joel, I get shakes.
Yeah.
I get a nervous feeling. I get very agitated. I start having DTs with tramadol if I don't have it for like maybe 10 hours. I start freaking out, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. And what's more unfortunate is it's because of the situation we're in. Now, here's one of the things that I want to defend doctors on, though. Okay, I talked to a doctor a couple years ago, and I say, why don't doctors ever go into their own practice anymore?
Yeah.
And he said, because the insurance is so high, we would never make any money. We would die in debt. And that is something, Joel, that we have done to ourselves, okay? Because now we're in this litigious society where we want to sue for hot coffee.
Yeah.
And so we sue doctors. The insurance payments pay for that, for the, being sued. They have to charge doctors more, and doctors in turn have to charge you more than you can afford. You don't pay the doctor because you can't afford it, or you file bankruptcy. The doctor has no money. They get shut down. So they have to go and work for the hospitals, and the hospitals are the ones that makes the money. It's not the doctors per se. It's the hospitals that say you have 10 minutes per patient. Their number is this number. They don't need a name. A name is irrelevant. Push them in, get them the hell out, prescribe these things to them. Get them in here as often as you can. And it feels a lot of times like it's, I don't care if you even diagnose what the problem is. Give them something to forget about the problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to joke that when I smoked, they told me everything that you would feel so much better if you would just quit smoking. So I quit smoking. Well, I still had pains and stuff. You would feel so much better if you quit drinking. Well, I don't drink anymore. So you'd feel so much better if you would just lose some weight. What the hell's after if I lose the weight, Joel? You'd feel so much better if you weren't so damn ugly. I mean.
No, I hear you. Everything's very apt and very relevant, very apt and very relevant in what you're saying. To honestly, a lot of the time as well. Again, personal opinion. I was speaking to somebody today. A lot of time the doctors don't even know that they're basing ideas of research that was very limited at the time when it was done, and even then it wasn't really conclusive. But yet they built a foundation on very rocky grounds. Again, I'm only talking personal opinion. What always humours me is, in the UK for quite a lot of medical products, you see the adverts for them, but in minuscule writing at the bottom, it's like the result. It's the results of studies, or they peddle these new drugs, and when you go and look at the research papers, there's not that many of them around. And when you do look at them, the difference between the group that had sweetie tablets and the ones that had the actual drug, there's not that much difference between them, if that makes sense. It's between the placebo group and the medicated group, it's frighteningly, with a lot of these studies, there's not much difference. And it's like, so why are you peddling this drug, saying what it does, when really make much difference between you taking a sugar pill? And again, a lot of this goes back to, going back to what we were saying earlier about the guy who receives people mindfulness practices and this, that, and the mind is a very powerful tool depending on how you want to use it. And I remember, I'm sure someone told me about this, I'm sure it's out there, is to find that they had this sample of people, and they were testing something, and there was like 3 groups, and the bottles were labeled, and one of them was labeled, this is the drug, or this is whatever it is, clearly on labels. That was your medical group. And then there was the group that just had a blank bottle. This is water or whatever it is. And then there was another group which was clearly said, this is not drugs at all. It really isn't. But what was interesting across the group is that the placebo group obviously excelled well. But what was really surprising, the group that told this is water, this is not the drug written on the bottle, actually showed massive improvements as well. Do you know what I mean? So again, it's quite interesting when you look in the back of it. And again, it was really interesting. There's a lot of stuff which has been come up this year that I've been working through. It's called life. Life likes to throw curveballs. So when I saw my doctor, and I said to my doctor, look, from my personal opinion, I said to the doctor, I don't want to be on antidepressants. It's not something I want to go down. I don't want to go down. I've been on them in the past. There is a place for them, but I don't think it's what I want to do now. This is how I feel, doctor. And I said, what I am struggling a little bit is with sleep. But I don't want to go on, which they have in the UK, they call it Zopiclone. The Zopiclone is one of the prescribed sweeties, as it were, for people who struggle with sleep. And again, what people don't understand about these types of drugs, that short term they're great, long term they're not, because they're addictive and all the rest of it. And particularly, again, from my personal opinion of this sleeping tablet, it's fantastic getting you to sleep. It doesn't keep you asleep, if that makes sense. And I said to him, I don't want that either. He said, we've got something else. Oh, here we go. What else do we have, doctor? And he always had this look of excitement in his face because he can use a little sweetie kit to prescribe on it. And what he prescribes, and by the way, I've only had one of it, and I'm not having any more of it. It's like, we've got this. It's an antihistamine, and it was designed as an antihistamine. And when they launched it on the market, they had to take it off because it left people so in a sedative state that they couldn't work the next day or drive a car. So what the medical world decided to do is use it to help you sleep better. It's like, right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, all right, okay. Thanks for that. Yeah, I'll give that a go for one night, never again. But thank you.
Yeah, and see, I think I think what you said there is very, very important. One of the points that you made right there at the beginning is that, hey, I call them the cuckoo meds. The ones that I've got, they're the cuckoo meds, but it's okay to not want to take them. Don't take them. Don't take them. Find something else that works for you. And this is not advice. This is not medical advice. This is not even meant to be. But I know some people are able to do THC as a way of grounding and as a way of taking and slowing their mind down and being able to, there's many different things out there that can help people that are natural. Peppermint is one that is, really coming back into lavender. These are things that are coming back into style that are really helping people relax. So I encourage everybody to stick with me. Joel's got to be taken off here in a minute, but I encourage everybody to stick with me because we're going to talk a little bit more about this. I do want to talk a little bit more about what I'm going through, and just because I would like for anybody who's dealing with something like this to be able to hear my story so they can take their own positive path and hopefully help themselves. As my dogs, apparently somebody's breaking into the house or something.
You need to give them THC.
So,
but joke aside, a serious point, what me and Zachary keep saying, please go and speak to your doctor. Don't go off your bed or try something else. Please go speak to your doctor because we do not want to get sued because of your stupidity. People out there. And some of you out there have listened to Donald Trump where he said it was a great idea to inject himself with toilet cleaner. Please don't do it. Go and speak to your doctor. Okay.
Yeah. Look, we're not even a, I'm not a professional of anything. So, don't take professional advice from me. I'm pretty damn good at watching hockey. That's about, that's about what I'm a professional at. So,
I love it.
But, Joel, thank you, brother. I love being able to talk to you. And you are correct. Starting tomorrow, everyone, it is Mental Health Month. And so we encourage you to definitely join our show. Join with us when we record next time. Or say, you know what? I want to check out this men's group. Tell me more about it, and we'll get the men's group running. So we'd love to have you involved. I'd love to find a muzzle. But
is that for the dog or somebody else?
Yeah, well, I got three of them down here. We've got two of them on the next floor that are going off, and I'm pretty sure the big one all the way upstairs is freaking out too. So, but Joel, if you have any extra words of wisdom, please put them on us, brother.
Keep doing what you're doing, mate. Keep doing what you're doing and move forwards. Because that's all you can do. That's all you can do. Yeah.
And how do people get a hold of you, my friend?
They can get hold of me through ReWiredForMen.com. That's my website. Learn more about what I do and why I do it and make a real difference to people. You've also got, which is that way around, you've got the QR code. What is that? Points to, hey, I'm trying to work out where my hands go. Over there, scan that QR code. That's it. It's to my Community Pay It Forward page. Learn more about me there. There's a link on there to get in and book a free 30-minute call, virtual coffee. Learn more a bit about what I do and what difference I can make to your life. So, yeah, there we are.
All right. Well, everybody, that is our Rewired for Men show for...
It's a noisy one at the end.
For April, we will see you again in May. Get a hold of us. Let's have these conversations. Let's keep the conversation going. And please remember, never shut up, because I'm going to tell the dog to shut up, but never shut up, because silence has never helped anyone except for me right now. We'll see you next month.
I love it.
Every Friday, people across the country put on red for one reason: to honor the women and men who left the comfort of home so we can live freely. These shirts are not about politics. They are not about a war. They are not about religion. They are about gratitude. They are about respect. They are about remembering everyone deployed. When you purchase one, you help us launch the Come Together Compass, a program built to guide families and heroes to the support that they need. Wear your pride. Wear your gratitude. Support Red Friday. Remember everyone deployed. The funniest thing in the world just happened, because as that was playing there towards the end, when all of my animals started freaking out, all my animals heard that barking and started running around the house looking for who's barking. Where's that coming from? Why? Where are the dogs inside of the house, including the rabbit right here who was running around trying to figure it out. So I want to thank Joel White, ReWired for Men, and I do want to make sure that everybody understands, look, we want to get this men's group started. So let's get going. Contact me at our new phone number. And this is our only phone number now. Okay, it's a brand new phone number. It's 970-692-1151. 970-692-1151. Just give me a call. Best thing to do, still is the same. Best thing to do is to text me first. Okay, I guess he doesn't want it down. Text me first. Make sure I'm in a place where I can take your call. After that, let's have a wonderful call. And let's talk about it, and let's get this men's group started. Hey, I do want to open up a little bit about my struggle right now, okay? And I don't want to open up about my struggle so where you can think that I'm bitching and moaning about my struggle. What I want to do is I want to make sure that people understand there are other people going through difficult times. So, look, they told me 2 weeks ago that I was going to have surgery, which was going to potentially help with the headaches and the pain. And then late last week, I get this thing that, no. We're just going to do what we've been doing for 9 years, which hasn't worked. I went and I talked to my primary doctor yesterday, and he and I discussed this, and I was quite mad, and I was quite vocal, and but I was honest. And I was doing something that everybody needs to make sure that you do in a situation like this. You must advocate for yourself. Doctors are great at what they do. They are not great at feeling what you feel. Again, we did discuss this. Look, a lot of this is on us as a community, because we've had people sue doctors, which makes insurance companies want to cover their own butts because they've had to pay out too much money. And insurance companies, you know what? A million times you've heard this. They're not billion-dollar companies because they love to give out money. All right? They want to cover themselves. That's all there is to it. But advocate for yourself. When they told me that we are just going to do the same thing that we have been doing for 9 years. I won't lie, I went into a very, very dark place. Do you smell sausage? Why is your nose so close to my face? I'm talking into the microphone. Thank you. I went into a dark place, and I started thinking, why do I continue to go to doctors? Why am I going to continue to do this if they're not going to help me? I hate to say it, but that's common. And you do feel that way. And it's not, honestly, that's not something that I can even tell you not to feel, because you're going to feel that way. You're going to feel like, well, what the hell? Why don't I just continue to do this? They're going to continue to just stick the drugs down my throat. That way I'm too numb to feel the pain, even though I still feel the pain. So I have to take more drugs. Here before too long, I'm just going to be one of those people who are just burned out and not able to move and just look terrible and feel terrible and just, I'm a miserable person. That's a fear. And it's a fear that if you don't advocate for yourself, you're going to feel. Okay? Advocate for yourself. Let people know. Don't be afraid of a second opinion. The doctor asked me something. The doctor asked me a very important question yesterday. And he goes, he looked at me directly in the eye and he goes, Zach, if we have this surgery and it doesn't work, are you going to be mad? And I told him flat out, no, because I know we tried everything. If I'm allowed to have this surgery and I still have the pain, I know those doctors, at least my primary, I know he stood up for me. I know he walked into a room and against probably what he would want to do, he would stand up and say, you know what? Zach has been doing this for 9 years. Zach has tried everything for 9 years. All the pain management, all the injections, physical therapy. I don't know how many times he's went through he's exhausted his physical therapies. It doesn't work. So just make sure that you advocate for yourself. You cannot go into a doctor's office. Like I said earlier, you can't go into a doctor's office and just be a complete jerk about it. Walk into a doctor's office, sit down. You can be mad. I was. You can be hurt. You can be upset. You can be... You feel helpless even. But don't walk in there throwing around the F word and making things worse, because a lot of times you're going to be yelling at the doctor who has absolutely nothing to do with what's going on. I could have walked into my doctor's office yesterday and lit him up one side and down the other, yet he had nothing to do with this whole process. So you need to make sure that you're covering your own bases, but be nice, folks. Be nice. We need to be nice. I really want this to be here for you to understand that this does happen. And most of the time, folks, it's not the doctor's fault. The insurance companies. The insurance companies have these doctors wound up tight. My doctor does something he's not supposed to do. And we sit down and we talk. I ask him questions. I ask him questions about stuff that's going on right now and what it's doing to his profession. And he answers them for me. It's not that he's not supposed to do it. It's that a lot of time doctors are uncomfortable doing it. If the doctor felt the exact opposite way, I wouldn't get mad at him because it's his opinion. I just want to know what's going on and how it's affecting me personally. How it's affecting you personally. Talk to your doctor. Try to get him to say, hey, you know what? I heard this is happening in the news. Is that affecting what I'm going through right now? Walk away with knowledge. Walk away understanding what is going on. Walk away knowing that you advocated for yourself and you are doing everything that you can do. When they say, and this was hard for me, when they say go back and continue to do the physical therapy. Folks, physical therapy is so painful for me. It is so, it is just excruciating for my neck. I had physical therapy this morning, and at the time of this recording, it is 2:50 in the afternoon here out east, okay? And I just got home at noon. And I'm sitting here with my neck just screaming it every time I turn my neck. Every time I have to take and pick up Max or something. You know, you see him, he's a small dog. That hurts my arms. It hurts my neck. And, but continue to do what they're doing, because at the end of the day, if you do what they say, and you come out at the end and say, well, I did it. What are we going to do now? Because it didn't do a damn thing. They have to continue to look. Be your own person. If you want to look into healthier alternatives, look into them. Just be prepared for hit and miss. Be prepared to be honest with yourself. You do not have to live a life of prescription drugs. Okay, you just don't. So, but again, I am not telling you to do anything. I am not a doctor. I'm not a trained professional. I'm a schmuck with a microphone. That's all I am. But I'm telling you, you are not, you're not bound to any decision. You're not, okay? Just advocate for yourself. Ask questions. Ask questions of everybody, though. Don't just ask question of one person. Think of somebody else. Hey, you know what? I've been through this. This is what happened to me. This is how, hey, how did you get into that? Who did you talk to? Who can I go and talk to about this? I know a neurologist that I had a conversation with where, because of where he worked, he was not allowed to talk about what we talked about. Because they absolutely did not support that method of healing. But he has himself an affliction, and that's what he does. Because that's where he finds the relief. Ask questions of everyone. Go to your doctor and say, this is what I've been thinking about trying. Do you have anybody I could talk to who might understand that a little bit better? But go to a professional and ask them. There are doctors out there who can tell you exactly what's going on, and follow their recommendation. And the most important thing is, don't fall into potholes. Make sure you listen to what people say. Use it responsibly. Use it smart. I absolutely don't. Just know that if you're not smart, bad stuff can happen, okay? So, a couple things that you can do when you go to a doctor. All right, prepare for your appointments. Write down symptoms, questions, and goals. Okay? This is important because, like in my life, right now I am currently going to 5 different locations, and I'm seeing 9 different people. It's hard to keep it in my head who I'm talking to, when I'm talking to them, and what's going on. So you need to write it down to make sure you can say, this individual said this, and this is what happened with that. What's next? Okay? So prepare. Prepare for all appointments. If this is if memory is a problem, try to bring somebody with you who can help dictate for you, who can hear. Because this is another thing, is that when you are sitting there and you're on that table, and the doctor, the therapist, whoever is doing stuff to you, and you're sitting there and all you can think about is, God, please don't hurt, please don't hurt, please don't hurt. Somebody else can hear what that person is saying clearly, because you are focused on going, oh God, I know this is going to hurt, and you're not going to hear everything. So make sure that if you have that ability, bring someone with you who can help you there. Second, you need to stay calm, but firm, okay? Explain what you need and repeat it if necessary. Don't be afraid to say, that did not work. What's next? Advocate for yourself. But don't let frustration sabotage your care. Third is track what works and what doesn't. Medication, mobility, pain levels, triggers. Make sure that if, I went and I was doing yard work, and every time I did this with the rake, I felt this pain in this area, and until I did, this thing, and I was able to put my right finger in my left ear and my thumb in my mouth. That was the only thing that made it feel a little bit better. Write that down. Tell the doctor, because that could show them what's going on. Just the positions that you're in can show somebody what's going on, and it can help them make better decisions. This will give you evidence when a doctor tries to recycle old solutions. Build up your circle. Build up your support group. Families, friends, join the men's group. If we work together, we can lessen the effect of all of this, because we can take and together we can come up with ideas for you to consider. I will always tell you to always go see a professional before you do anything. I'm not going to tell you to take a Tylenol before you go to see a professional, because it could negatively affect you if you're taking something else. Always talk to a professional. You may not like them. God knows there are times I don't. But you've got to talk to a professional. You got to make sure that everything that you are doing is not negative on what they are having you do. Be very careful on what even they send to you. Make sure that you look, and I think I've said this before, but Adrienne is really good at anytime I have a new prescription. She looks and she goes through my prescription list to make sure that there's no negative reactions. They have given me stuff. One doctor's given me something that another doctor had given me, and I was taking them, and Adrienne came on the scene, and she's like going, do you realize that, this problem that you're having with your gut is probably because you're mixing these two together, and that's a no-no? And I was like, no, I never considered doing any of that stuff. Never. Till Adrienne came along. And sure as hell, as soon as she told me these two things could be doing this to you, as soon as I stopped taking them. So build your support circle. Make sure that people, you have great people around you, because there are great people around you. You just need to be open, honest, and allow them to help you tell their story, because their story can help you. Again, join our men's group, and we can talk about this. Realize that if you just give up, if you decide not to advocate for yourself because you're frustrated, and it's very easy to do, and I feel your frustration because I've lived my frustration. Don't allow yourself to say, if I just sit here and try to deal with it, I'm just going to break down and cry. I invite you to have a wonderful conversation with a great friend of ours at the Aziza Project, because Stephanie Berman, she went through hell and back trying to get a doctor to understand what she was talking about, what she was going through. And one of the hardest things to hear on my end was one of my former wives was going through the same exact thing, and they convinced me that there was nothing wrong with her because they didn't know what they were looking at. They didn't go far enough. And she didn't advocate for herself. She found a point where she was okay with it, and she wasn't okay with it, but she found a point where they did something and she was like, okay, that's it. That's what I'm going to do now. And unfortunately that's where it left. But she ended up saying, you know what, I'm done. I'm tired of doing this. And, you know, now that I found out that this happens to women more than, well, talk to Stephanie Berman from the Aziza Project. I'm telling you, her story will kick you in the gut. You don't, you're not stuck on what one doctor says. Advocate for yourself. If you're going through something like this, you're not alone, okay? You're just not. And again, we are building, Joel and I are building a place where men can talk, learn, and support each other. And other men don't have to fight these alone. You know, maybe in the recesses of your mind, you've got a way to tell somebody who's struggling with this, look, this is the question maybe you could ask your doctor, and maybe he could give you a clearer message. This is what we're looking to do with the men's group. So please, once again, join the men's group. And please just remember, pain does not make you weak. Silence does. If you're dealing with anything like this, contact us. I would love to sit down and talk to you. I would love to find out what we can do for you. I would love to support you. Advocate for yourself. You're worth it. One of the very first things that we saw when I began this podcast today was something with Les Simpson, and Les will be joining us in 2 weeks. Yes, 2 weeks, and he's started a group that can help you. Hey, sounds a little condescending when I say it this way, but I'm going to say it this way because it's actually true. He's going to teach you how to use your brain to sell. But not just use your brain. Figure out your customer's brain. And how to present things to them that makes it important to them. Uh-oh. You can join my group by giving me a call, 970-692-1151, 970-692-1151. Again, that is the new number for Community Pay It Forward and some clown named Zach Clayton. So that is, it's the only number I've got now. I'm not going to carry around 2 phones anymore because I lose 2 phones and it's just too damn expensive. So 970-692-1151. I want everyone to know I thank you for supporting me during this difficult time. Through the pain that I'm going through, and I want to thank everyone for understanding. Things might change for a little bit until we get this figured out. As far as timing goes, timing's been a little bit off, but you know, you do have to deal with what you have to deal with, and every day is a new challenge. So I need to remind everybody of what's going to happen, and I was wrong at the end of that video. It's not tomorrow, it is Friday. May 1st. May 1st is the beginning of Mental Health Awareness Month. Please watch your family. Please talk to your family. Issues do not go away on their own. People don't grow out of it. We absolutely need to be here for each other. We need to watch out for each other, and we need to support each other. If you have a problem talking to someone in your family, contact someone. Ask them, look, this is my situation. Contact the mental health support group in your area. Because you don't know. You just don't know what or when I got a dog that just left me a gift. You don't know what or when is going to happen if you leave situations alone. Talk to people. You can't be afraid to talk to him, because you know what, if you're afraid to talk to him, you may not get the chance to talk to him again. We will be doing something special for Mental Health Awareness Month. I'm going to reach out to a couple people throughout the day, and we're going to find out. But for now, I'm done. I want to thank everybody. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching this episode. Please get a hold of Joel. If you would like an introduction to Joel, just reach out to me. I'd gladly get you in contact with him. Guys, join our men's group. Contact Joel, contact me. Once a month. The first month's going to be free. But let's get this done. Let's work to help each other. My name is Zach Clayton, Community Pay It Forward. Come Together Compass. I can't believe I actually turned that around. Come Together Compass and the Pact Podcasting Networks. Please remember that if you're not helping someone, you're hurting everyone. No one needs to go alone when we all come together. And most importantly, never shut up. Silence has never helped anyone. Tell your story. Be there for someone when they need you the most. Have a great week. We'll see you next week.
Bring me home, out alone, to show me the way. You wanna hold the heart of Sunset Boulevard. Bring me here, 'cause it's not quite clear to be a part of Sunset Boulevard.